Hey, Ben, what you working on?
Oh, hey, Mike. I'm just making some changes to our Crystal Ball app.
What kind of changes?
I'm adding a Crystal Ball image to make it look cool.
Oh, can I take a look?
Oh, sure. Yeah, what do you think?
Where are the flies?
Huh? Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I thought there'd be some flies buzzing around the ball. Maybe you could, earn points by tapping on them to eat them or something.
Yeah, maybe version 2, Mike. Why don't I instead just show you how to use an image with an image view?
Okay, sounds cool, man.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Let's start by adding a Crystal Ball image. The first thing we need is the image file itself. Grab it from the link on this video page, and then copy it into one of the drawable directories in the Resources folder in our project. We can copy the files in using something like Finder or Windows Explorer, or we can drag the files directly into the folders in Eclipse. Let's drag it into Package Explorer and drop it into the drawable-mdpi folder inside Resources. Go ahead and copy the file. Notice that we have 4 different drawable folders: LDPI, MDPI, HDPI, and XHDPI, where DPI stands for dots per inch. Drawable folders are used to store drawable resources, like images, and the different suffixes stand for different screen pixel densities: low, medium, high, and extra high, or HD. This means that we can provide images of different densities so that they look great on all types of devices. It's best if we can create different versions of our images ourselves, but for this example, we can just use one image and let the Android device scale it as needed. We put ours in the medium directory so that it can scale up or down without too much work. We'll be working with the screen layout, so let's open activitymain.xml in the layout directory. We've only used form widgets so far, but now we're going to add an image view from the Images and Media section. Expand that, and then drag an image view, the first one in the upper left, into the upper left corner of our layout. Both the top and the left side of the layout should be highlighted in green, showing us that the image view is anchored to the corner. Now select the image that we just added, Ball01. Click OK. And we're going to stretch our image to cover as much of the screen as possible. So click on Fill Width, and then Fill Height. Now, the first thing we want to fix is the fact that our image is now on top of our text view label and button. Look at the outline view here on the right for a quick explanation and solution. The screen is built from the top down, so first this text view is placed on the screen, then the button, and then the image view we just added, which goes on top. So one quick solution is to simply move image view 1 above the text view so that it gets added to the screen first. Now our button's back on top. It's still semi-transparent, but we're going to fix that in just a minute. Next, let's get rid of the title and placeholder image here at the top of our screen. Android provides us with some themes we can use to set the baseline styles from our apps. Themes are collections of styles that can be applied to individual activities or the entire application. Click on App Theme, and we can see the myriad of choices available by hovering over each category. Let's keep things simple though. We want our app to just take up the whole screen, including the status bar at the top. So let's select Theme, and then theme.black.notitlebar.fullscreen. Now, depending on which display you have selected, you should have seen the white background change to black like this. But this is only half the story. We just set the theme for this preview only. To save it for our app, we actually need to edit a file. Just changing it here in the preview like this won't change it when we run our app on the emulator. So in Package Explorer, open up androidmanifest.xml. This is where we set the theme for activities or the entire application. Just like layout XML files, we can edit this XML directly here if we choose. But there's also a manifest editor, so let's use that instead. Click on the Application tab here at the bottom, and then click on the Browse button for a theme. Switch to System Resources because we're going to use an Android theme, and then start typing theme to narrow down the choices. Let's use the same theme.black.notitlebar.fullscreen that we used in the preview, and click OK. Now it's set for our entire app. Okay, we're getting closer with our layout improvements. Back in activitymain.xml, we have a drop-down at the top that lets us see how our screen will look on different devices. Go ahead and click through and see how it changes based on various screen dimensions. Here I've selected the smallest screen available, And if I click through, I can see how it looks for different size screens. We can even see how it looks on a tablet. It's not very good. I'm going to switch back to something in the middle. And next to this display button is a button used to toggle between portrait and landscape mode. Go ahead and try it out. And you can see that our app doesn't look very good in landscape mode. So let's make it portrait only. To change it to portrait only, we have to make the change on a screen-by-screen basis back in the manifest file. Let's switch back to the manifest, and then on the Application tab, scroll to the bottom and look for the Application Nodes section. Select Main Activity, and then its attributes get loaded on the right. Scroll down to Screen Orientation, and from the drop-down, select Portrait. Okay, we're ready to save the changes in the manifest. If we click on the Android Manifest.xml tab, we can switch to the plain XML view and see that the Android Screen Orientation equals Portrait has been added to our main activity. We can also see on line 13 where the theme was set for our entire application. The last thing we need to do is set how our image is scaled within the image view. Switch back to ActivityMain.xml, and then right-click on the image. Hover over Scale Type to see all the available options. These options scale the image in different ways if it's too large or too small for the image view. And some of the options won't change the size of the image if it's smaller than the image view. Now if we switch our display here in the preview to the smallest option, the 2.7-inch QVGA, then we can see how the different options affect how the image is scaled and positioned. So if I try some of the different scale types, you can see how it fits it inside the image view. Sometimes it stretches it, and sometimes it centers it or crops it. We always want our entire image to show, and we want it to scale up correctly for tablets. Right-click, go to Scale Type, and click on Fit Center. This ensures that the entire image will fit in the screen and be centered. Okay, let's switch back to a larger screen preview, and click Save. All right, let's run our app to take a look. All right, we can see that some parts of our app are looking pretty good, but now our button is sitting obtrusively in the middle. Let's fix that next. Well, Mike, what do you think?
Can't wait for those flies, man.
All right, you work on that, and I'll work on fixing our layout. We saw how to add an image view and change its properties, and next we'll see how to customize buttons and text views.